Good morning. This is Joe from Ask Joe About Money, and it is February 10th, 2023, 9:25 a.m. market time, and it's Friday, and we're going to be looking at the MES, the micro e-mini contract. And as always, the first thing that we're going to do is this is yesterday's close. We're looking at a 5-minute chart, and we're going to put in the high and low for the overnight session. So the overnight session, the low was down here at 40.60, and the high was up here at 40.98. So what I'd like to note here about the high and the low of the overnight session is that the market had a sell-off yesterday, and then it bounced at the close yesterday, and the market was not able to breach the highs from the close, and we came immediately down. Now, what I do like to put on my chart here is 50% of the overnight session. The overnight session 40.98 to 40.60, and 50% is right where we are right now. So we're at 50% of the overnight session right here. So I'm just going to put that in here like this. Get rid of that. All right, so now let's go ahead and switch back to, let's switch it to regular market hours. And let's take a look at our 16-minute chart. All right, so we've been talking about this for a number of days now. So again, market pushed up, it broke resistance, came back down, tried again, failed, and then we're in this tight downtrend on the 60-minute chart. So where are we? What can we do today? So I mean, we are coming into support here. There's a lot of support. This is the overnight range, and so can we bounce over here? Absolutely. Okay, we could absolutely bounce off of here. Can we continue down? Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the market open. We're going to see what happens at the market open, and let's go ahead and look at a 15-minute chart just to get a little bit more granular with what's going on here. Let me get some of these. I like to keep those in there because those are just signify the trading ranges, because when we're in trading ranges, sometimes it feels like we're never going to come out of them, but we always do. So, but these are just my that was my buy and sell zone there. So I just want to keep the chart relatively clean. Let's clean this up a little bit on the longer term side. Oops. That's actually just to make it a little bit easier to see. As you can see, these are the different boxes that I'm making as I'm trading, constantly measuring the market, constantly looking at things, constantly drawing trend lines. So now at this point, so we're on this tight bear channel down, so, but if you look at the last major move down a couple days back, we rejected it and we bought off of that, so that could happen, or we could continue down. So let's see what happens. Let's go to the 5-minute. Market's going to open here in less than a minute, so I like to, now at this point, we zero in and we look at, so now we're just focused on yesterday's price action, and we're going to be focused on where the market's going to be opening, which it's going to be opening down, but we did retrace a bunch of the overnight session, and we're going to be opening here in 10 seconds. See what happens. All right, so we're gapping down. We closed, it's actually not a big gap down at all. We were down more, so we We came back a bit, but we are, when we have the downtrend like this, the downtrend went from 4166 to 4080. That's a big move. It wouldn't be unusual for us to just be in a range bound market, at least for the first couple of hours of the morning. Again, not predicting. I'm just saying this is what I've noticed over time. So we're just gonna take a look at this from an objective perspective. And as we wait, always I like to talk about mindset, and I like to talk about how we approach the market and how we come in, and what we can do to help and promote coming in with a good positive mindset. And really, what I believe in is rituals, right? Having something, you could call it discipline, you could call it different things, but at the end of the day, there are things that you can do every single day that could promote a good mindset. Okay. And so here's the thing. First of all, we need consistency. Okay. We need consistency. And the word discipline has been a hard word for me. I've kind of embraced it over time, but consistency and discipline are the same thing. Basically, to do something over and over and over and over again. Sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel motivated to do it, sometimes you don't. But the consistency and the discipline is the vehicle that gets you to those results. Because if you're just, I don't care how good, let's say someone said to you, and then we're going to get into some of the rituals that I use, but then we're going to talk about experimentation, because we have to experiment with different things. But if I told you that meditation would be really good for your mindset, and you just did it, 1 week you did it twice, and the next week you did it 7 times, and the next week you didn't do it at all, it doesn't matter how good the tool is, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because you're not giving it a chance for it to work. And I think that's what we oftentimes miss it. And like if you look at the weight loss business, that's a great example. Everyone's always looking for, what is give me the magic diet, give me the magic pill, give me the magic number of sets I need to do at the gym. But I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know that we just need to take in less calories, drink more water, and eat foods that are healthy for us generally, and exercise more. That's what you have to do. So if you're not doing those things on a consistent basis, okay, if you're not doing those things on a consistent basis, we have this illusion that if we get the perfect diet and the perfect trainer, that we could somehow not have to worry about the consistency and the discipline. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that that's not true, because I was one of those people. And I could argue that even a subpar diet, a subpar exercise routine, if you do it consistently over time, will beat the perfect diet, will beat the perfect exercise routine if that person's not doing it consistently. So anything that we do, we always want to do it consistently. Now, then the question is, well, what do I do, Joe? Then everyone wants to know, what do I do? You see all these YouTube videos. This is what a billionaire does. This is what a millionaire does, so on and so forth. And I mean, that's worthless in the sense, the same way it's worthless if I tell you what my routine is. I watch a lot of different stuff. I do a lot of different research. I study successful people because I want to get ideas. Right? And when I get those ideas, then I get to experiment them. And this is where I know this is where I failed. Okay, this is where I failed. So I'm going to talk from personal experience. Is that if I hear an idea of this is what this person did, or this is what this person's routine looks like on a day-to-day basis, and I try it, and it doesn't work for me, well, at that point, it doesn't mean that I just quit and I say nothing works, and that's what I did in the past. But what I'm realizing is that these are just ideas for you to experiment with, right? Like if meditation, for example, that works for me, right? It works for me. I've been meditating now for years. And as we look here, the first candle was a green candle. So again, let's see, we are below the moving average. We've been below the moving average now for pretty much, I mean, yesterday we opened high above it, and we pretty much at that point we just sold all day long. So we've been below it. So now again, to look for a long, I'm going to need some real evidence of buying pressure as we approach the moving average, and let's see what happens. But like I said, it could be likely that we're going to be sitting in a trading range for the open. And again, that's fine. There's a lot of waiting here. There's no rush. Okay, there's no rush. We make our money by sitting on our hands a lot of the time, so there's no rush here. So what I was saying is that we have to have discipline, and we have to have our daily rituals. And as far as which ones work, that is all experimentation. We cannot get unfocused and distracted and quit because something's not working. We have to. So the way I do it is, let's say I hear of this certain type of meditation. Okay, so now I go and I try it, but I can't try it for one day. Maybe I'll try it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll assess. I'll say, you know what, that's not working for me, or that's really working for me. And so the only way for me to know if it's going to work specifically for me is by trying it. And that's where we figure out rituals that are going to be lasting for many, many years. And then a time comes where you have to also examine, well, maybe it's not working anymore. Maybe something that worked, maybe a circumstance changing your life, and now there's time to change it. So we have to just always be open and not tied into anything, and not take it personally, right? Like, like with diet and exercise as an example. We try different things, and then we say it's not working, and then our solution to it's not working is quitting. That's not the solution. The it's not working is just data. Like, okay, we tried something, and it didn't work. So, So I mean, just the importance of having a daily ritual, the importance of realizing that all we're doing in our life is experimentation. Okay, the importance of realizing that there is no silver bullet. There is no one way to do it. And even if there was, it has to work for us. So we have to be the ultimate judge when it comes to that. We have to be the ultimate decision maker when it comes to that. So rituals, daily routines, discipline. Can't do much without that. Okay, it doesn't matter how good of anything that you have going on. If you don't do it consistently, you're not going to get very far. All right, so let's see what we have going on here. I know there's news at 10 o'clock. So all right, so this bar is about to close here. We've got about 15 seconds left. Let's see what happens here. All right, so we have a bear bar. Remember, never in a rush, always patient, always observing, never predicting. The goal and the idea of trading is this is a performance sport. And so we have to never be predicting. We have to just be reacting. Well, how do I know what to do? Well, that's where the study time comes in. Let's talk a little bit about study time. I'm spending 3 hours a day at least reviewing my trades, looking at the market in different ways, looking at different things of how the market reacts at different levels. And I'm studying the market. And I'm also spending at least 1 to 2 hours a day working on my mindset because, people want to know, well, Joe, what do you do? How do you do it? Well, as far as exactly what I do and how I do it, that's really irrelevant because everyone's different. But just to give you an idea of where I spend my time, I talk a lot about block time, right? I talk a lot about block time because what I find is that you're going to make improvements in the areas that you spend block time in. Okay, and what I mean by that is that if you're spending time in an area, it's going to be hard for you not to improve in that area because you're going to get sick and tired of doing things in a way that isn't working. So, for example, I have a total of 3 hours block time per day to study charts, and I have 2 hours a day to work on my mindset. And now, what I do in those blocks is really less important than that I actually show up to those blocks, right? And let me explain to you. Have you ever had something that you're resistant to? Like, let me give you an example. Right now, we're coming upon tax time, and many entrepreneurs, when it comes to looking at their books, they're resistant to it. So you keep putting it off, meaning you're not putting time aside. You're not, because you don't know what to do, and maybe you're confused. But if you would just put that block time aside and say, you know what, an hour a day, I'm going to work on my bookkeeping. I'm going to work on making sure that my books are in good order. Well, just over time, you may not know exactly what to do. You may just be sitting there the first day for an hour and just thinking about what to do. But over time, I guarantee you, if you keep showing up to those block times, you're going to succeed. And so, as an example, in my block time with my mindset of 2 hours per day, now it's not all together, it's spread out throughout the day, but some of the things that I do is meditating. Other things that I do is reading, going for walks. That contributes to my mindset. And then studying charts. Studying charts. That could be watching a YouTube video. That could be making a YouTube video. That could be reviewing my charts for the day. So the concept of block time is really important because it's far, far, far more important. Okay, far, far, far more important to show up for that block time than it is to what you're doing during the block time. We all get consumed, but what am I supposed to do? Well, what I can tell you is if you put something on your schedule for 1 hour a day, every single day, whatever domain you're trying to get better in, okay? Whether it's your health, whether it's your trading, whether it's your relationships, whatever it is, if you put an hour a day, I will guarantee you that you're going to get better. Something else that I've discovered as well is that so let's take a look here. So it looks like this was a big red bar at one point. Now the bar is about to close, and okay. So far 1 green bar, 2 red bars, but nothing. And it's kind of like that was kind of the price action yesterday. It wasn't like it was just kind of like consistent selling, but you had to be careful. We took this trade yesterday here when we saw this, because yesterday, the name of the game yesterday was that you had to short the retracement. So if you notice, if you were selling, too low, you would have gotten trapped. So what you wanted to do is, yesterday was a day, and again, just this is when you're looking at the open, is that, down, retrace, down, retrace, down, retrace, down, retrace, down, retrace. So yesterday was a day that the strategy, I always like to say, what was working, and really early on in the day, what started to work immediately was the shorting retracements. And that's really important when we look at the context of the day, right? How soon can we get on the train to figure out what's going on, right? Like if yesterday you were looking to buy above green candles, you wouldn't have been very successful. I mean, every green candle yesterday. So really, yesterday's strategy was to sell above the green candle. So when we're watching the open like we're doing right now, we're trying to get an assessment. We're trying to get an assessment as to what is the market doing fundamentally? What is the flow? What is the flow of the market? So I recognized early on that was the strategy, and that's what allowed me to take this trade here, because I said, okay, look, down, short the retracement. So that was the first one, and I saw a downtrending market. So now what I wanted to do here, was, okay, well, the second one, okay, this was what you could argue this was the second move, but in a larger context, this was the consolidation. But I was in flow with what the market was doing. Okay, I was in flow with what the market was doing, and that's really what it comes down to. So I was able to recognize that. So what we're trying to spot today is, what is the market doing so far? What is the market doing so far? So, I mean, so far, we're not seeing conviction either way. We've had a lot of muted opens recently. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to find trades later on in the day, right? So what I was saying, what was I saying? What I was saying was, I was talking about block time. And yeah, just basically talking about setting time aside in these blocks. And the blocks are another word for discipline and another word for consistency, right? And when we set time aside in these blocks, it's less important of what we're doing. It's more important that we show up for these blocks, right? And so you have to recognize where you need improvement in, right? So so where do you spend your time? And so you have to first put that on your calendar. Do you need help in your mindset? Do you need help with technicals of the market in terms of reading charts? Where do you need to spend time? So here we are, 4 candles in. You have another minute left in this candle, and I'm not convinced either way. I'm not seeing any breakout. Again, we have to be open, because at any moment, we have news at 10. So that could be the candle that makes the big difference in the day. I don't know, but let's see what happens. All right, now we have a big green bar. So, and immediately they started to sell it, but let's see what happens here. Here is the opening range for the morning so far. All right, so here we are here. We'll stay on till the close of this candle. Then we have news at 10 a.m. But let's see what happens here. So far, we're going to need some candles that are going to break us out of this range. But again, this is not. We have to just continue to stay focused because we just don't know when that is. We don't know if we're going to break out of this range. We don't know when we're going to break out of this range. And we just have to stay with it, keep our mindset sharp, and keep remembering that the market is there and the market is just doing what the market does. And it's our job to just maintain our mindset, stay calm, stay focused, know what we're looking for. And if I do come across a trade today and I get in a trade, I'll hop on live and I'll manage that trade as I've been doing this week. So with that, have a great day, manage your risk, and we will see you soon.